Welcome to this complete Socket.io course. In this course, I will teach you Socket.io from ground up. And this video is part of my Socket.io course in which you will learn Socket.io by building 3 projects. In the first project, we will create a group chat application in which you will learn almost everything about Socket.io. And then we will create a room chat application in which you will learn and explore some advanced stuff about Socket.io, some advanced concepts and topics of Socket.io, and you will also learn about how to create room chat application, how to create private chat application. After these 2 projects, you will be able to use Socket.io in any of the project. You will have complete knowledge of Socket.io. But in order to make you more advanced developer, we will create a third project in which you will learn webRTC, and then you will create a video chat application using webRTC and Socket.io. In third project, first I will teach you what is webRTC, how webRTC works, and how you can create applications using webRTC. And then we will implement webRTC and we will create a video chat application using webRTC. Let's explore the projects that we are going to create in this course. The first project that we are going to build is a group chat application. And in this group chat application, first you will learn Socket.io and then you will create this group chat application using Socket.io. So you can see that this website is running on localhost 3000. So what I will do, I will refresh this website. So it will ask me a username. I will give it a simmer username. Okay. And I will click on the OK button, and then I will copy this link and I will paste it in another tab. Okay, and it will ask me my username, so I will give it Rahul. Okay, and if I click on the OK button, nothing will happen. But you can see that the title Socket.io tutorial, Socket.io tutorial. These are 2 tabs. Okay, our group chat project is running. Okay, so you can see that we received a message Rahul joined the chat, because in the last step we joined this group chat application using username Rahul. So if I try to send message from here like hello, I am Simmer, and click on the send button. Okay, you can see that hello, I am Simmer, and if I go in the last step, you can see that we are receiving that hello, I am Simmer, and this is a group chat application. Okay, many users can join this group chat application and they can chat to each other. So the second project that we are going to build is a chat room application that you can see here. Is a chat room application in which first you will give the username, like I will give here Simmer, and then you can select the chat room that you want to join. Let's join JavaScript chat room. Okay, and if I click on the join room button, you can see that I'm receiving a message here, Simmer joined the chat room, and we are also having this leave button here. What I will do, I will open this localhost 3001 port, localhost 3001 in another tab. Okay, so that I can show you that how this website is working. So I will join this JavaScript chat room with the username Rahul. Okay, and click on the join room button. You can see that we are getting here message Rahul joined the chat room in the last tab. Okay, and we are also receiving message here that Rahul joined the chat room. So if I try to send message here like hey, how are you Rahul, and click on the send button. Okay, so you can see that hey, how are you Rahul, and auto scroll is also happening automatically, and in the last step we are receiving message hey, how are you Rahul. And if I join any another room, okay, any another room like Python room, if I try to join Python room with username Taran, okay, so Python room, okay, you can see that. And if I try to send message if I try to send message in the second tab, okay, like if I send a message like hello, I am Simmer and I am in JavaScript chat room. So if I click on the send button, this message will only be received by the users present in JavaScript chat room. So as you know that Rahul is in JavaScript chat room. So in the last second tab, we are in JavaScript chat room. We are receiving that hello, I am Simmer and I am in JavaScript chat room. And in the last step, we are not receiving any message because because we are joined in Python chat room with username Taran. Okay, so we will create this room chat application. We will create this chat room application, and in the last, we will create this video chat application. If I try to join a room chat, if I try to join a room with username simmer, like if I try to join a room with simmer, like you can see that in the first page we are asking user which video chat room the user wants to join or the user want to create. So if I type in like something simmer and click on the join room button, so you can see me, okay, and I will mute this side. Okay. So you can see me. Okay, so you can see me. So if I try to join the simmer room in another tab, okay, simmer room in another tab, and if I click on the join room button, our video chat application is working. You can see that our video chat application is working, and these are the projects that we are going to build in this course, and all these projects are advanced projects, and you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot about Socket.io, and one more thing, that you will not only learn Socket.io in this course, you will also learn what is webRTC. So if you want to learn more about the course, you can check the description. So let's start this video. So coders, in this video, we will learn what is Socket.io, and we will go very deep in what is Socket.io. So you can read so you can see that I had written here Socket.io is a library that enables real-time bidirectional event-based communication between a client and a server, and it is built on the top of WebSocket protocol. So what does it mean? Socket.io allows us to make connection between the client and the server and have that connection persistent. So normally when we request data from server, what we are doing is we are saying server that, hey server, send us data, and server sends the response, and that's the end of the request, and the connection between the client and the server gets lost. The connection gets terminated. But when we are using Socket.io, we set up something called WebSockets. These WebSockets will connect to the server, but that connection stays open. So if user wants data from server, user don't have to request or refresh the page, and only ever make one connection to the server. In simple words, when using Socket.io, user can send data to the server whenever user wants, or server can send data to the client whenever the server wants. So I hope guys you understand what is Socket.io, and if you don't understand what is Socket.io, in few next videos you will have complete knowledge of what is Socket.io. It is my guarantee, because in the next video we will see the difference between HTTP and WebSockets and what is WebSocket, in which you will get a deep knowledge of what is WebSocket and what is Socket.io. And after that video we will have some practical examples of Socket.io. So guys, that's it for video. So let's learn what is WebSockets. So coders, in this video we will learn what is WebSockets, and we will briefly learn what is WebSocket, and we will go deep dive into WebSockets. So WebSocket is bidirectional, a full duplex protocol that is used in the same scenario of client-server communication. Unlike HTTP, it starts from WS or WSS. So what does it mean? So WebSocket is a protocol like HTTP, and it also starts with WS or WSS. Like HTTPS, WebSockets have WSS. It is a stateful protocol, which means the connection between the client and the server will keep alive until it is terminated by either party, client or server. So when we are using WebSocket, the connection between the client and the server remains alive, and the connection between the server and the client didn't get terminated or closed. So client and server are connected. So if they are connected, they can talk to each other, which means client can send data to server without refreshing or without requesting the server. And server can also send data to the client whenever the server wants, or client can send data to the server whenever client wants. And this connection will only get terminated if server or clients get disconnected. So how WebSockets work? So client sends regular HTTP with an additional header to be requested. So what does it mean? So the client makes a HTTP request to the server. Okay. and clients make HTTP request to the server with the additional header, and then server perform a handshake. So server gets a request and notice the request for upgrade header. So server get an upgrade header, and this lets the server knows that we are requesting for WebSocket connection. So now server knows that client wants to make a WebSocket connection with the server. Now the server have to update the connection. So after this, the WebSocket connection is established. So if all things goes well, then this connection will be persistent between the client and the server. So this WebSocket connection will be alive until the client or server gets disconnected. So which means that the client and servers are connected to each other. So client can send data to the server whenever the client wants, and server can send data to the client whenever the server wants. And if the clients get disconnected, then this connection will also get terminated. So I hope you guys understand how our WebSockets work. So what's difference between HTTP and WebSocket? So in HTTP, so you can see that this computer is client and this is server. Okay. So in HTTP, the client makes HTTP request to the server, and server on getting the HTTP request, server sends the response. And when the clients get the response, the connection between the server gets terminated. So the request, and that's the end of the request, and the connection between the server and the client is terminated. So now if the client wants to talk to server again, if clients want to get some data from the server, the client have to request the server, or client have to refresh the page. So what happens in the WebSocket scenario? What happens is client sent HTTP request to the server with an additional upgrade header, and server on getting the request, the client and the server perform handshake, and after this handshake, the WebSocket connection gets established. So this WebSocket connection is persistent. This WebSocket connection will be alive until the client or the server gets disconnected. So if the client and the server is connected, client can send data to the server whenever the client wants, and server can send data to the client whenever the server wants. I know that I'm repeating this line again and again, but this is the concept behind the WebSocket. So that's why I have to repeat this line again and again, because this is the main concept behind the WebSocket. Let's take a real life example. So let's imagine that you and me wants to talk. So what I do, I send you a SMS. Okay, I send you a SMS, and you on receiving the SMS sends me the response, and I got the response from you, and then I send the message again to you, and you send me the response. So this is the scenario of HTTP. So in real life, the WebSocket connection is like we are on calls. You and me is on call. So if you and me on the call, then I can ask anything from you, and you can ask anything from me. So in this case, you are server, I am client. I can ask anything from you. You will tell me, and you can also ask anything from me. Okay. So I hope you guys understand what's the difference between HTTP and WebSocket. What can we build using WebSockets? We can build chat applications using WebSockets. We can build real-time web application using WebSockets. We can build notification system using WebSocket, and we can also create trading apps using WebSocket. So learning WebSocket nowadays is most essential skill, because most of the big tech companies or small companies are using WebSockets, are using some real-time technology behind their websites or apps. So this chat system is now the crucial feature for every website. So if you have a sport team and you want to talk with the client, whoever connects to your website, you want that client and your sport team to chat. And how you can implement that? You can implement using WebSockets. So you can also implement this using HTTP, but this is not the best idea to implement chat application in your website using HTTP, because you have to check for the after every second from the client, or the client have to check every message from the server. after every 1 second. So what if the another person don't send the message for 2 hours? But if you're using HTTP, then you have to make the request after every 1 second, and that will cost a very high amount to maintain server. But in WebSocket, what happens is whenever the user will send the message to the server, whenever the user will send the message, then only then server can automatically send this message to the other users. So the client or server don't have to check for the messages after every second. So I hope you guys understand what is WebSockets, and I hope you guys understand what is WebSocket. So coders, in this video, we will learn the difference between Socket.io and a simple website who uses HTTPS. So you can see that I had a website opened in one tab and in another tab, and this is the same website. So you can think it as like this website is opened in another browser, and this website is another opened in another browser. So what is this website? So user will submit any data, like I will type here any data, okay, and user will submit it, and we have to show that any data to the other user, okay. So now if I add here something like any data, and if I click on this submit button, so you can see that the data got submitted, but we can't see here. So if I refresh this file, you can see that we are getting the any data. So this website is only using HTTP protocol. So coders, I had also created a website using Socket.io. So what I will do, I will open a new tab and I will type here localhost and port 3000, and and it will ask me the username. So what I do, I will give it a username sever, okay. And now I will copy this localhost 3000, and in the another browser I will paste it, and it will also ask me, and I will give it name Rahul, and I will click on the OK button. So see here, we got Rahul joined the chat. So what happens is when this user joined the chat, we sent the event to Socket.io. Just think that we sent a message to the server that this user has joined the chat, and the server has sent to the other user that this user had joined the chat. So you can see that Rahul had joined the chat. So if I try to send a message here, so hello Simmer. So if I type here hello Simmer and click on the send button, you can see that we are getting here hello Simmer. And if I type here hello Rahul and click on the send button, you can see that we are getting here hello Rahul. So this is only an example. This is we are going to create a project like this, but that project will be more advanced than this project. This is just for example to show you what difference between HTTP and Socket.io. So in Socket.io, a user can send data to the server, and the server can also send the data to the user. And in the HTTP, user have to request the data, and server can't send the data by itself until the user requests it. So I hope you guys understand the difference between the HTTP and the Socket.io. So, and we also know that Socket.io under the hood uses WebSockets. So let's start installing Node.js in our computer. Just open your browser and search Node.js. And the first website, the first link you will get, just click on it and check that that link should be of node.js.org. Click on that link, and on the navbar, in the navbar section, click on the downloads option, and then click on this LTS, okay. And then according to your operating system, install Node.js. So as I am using Windows, so I will click on Windows installer, and and Node.js setup for Windows will start downloading. So first, let's see what is Node.js. So if I search what is Node.js, then we are going to get a statement like this. Node.js is an open source cross-platform backend JavaScript runtime environment that runs on the V8 engine and executes JavaScript code outside a web browser. So before Node.js, we were only using JavaScript in our browser on the client side. But after the Node.js, after the invention of Node.js, we are able to use JavaScript on the server side. Now we can run JavaScript outside the browser. So as you can see that Node.js setup had downloaded. So I will open this Node.js setup, and it is saying that welcome to Node.js setup. Just click on the next button. Then it will show you a license agreement. Just accept the license agreement. And if you want, you can read the license agreement, but I'm not going to read license agreement. Click on next button. Then just click on next button. Then just click on next button, and also click on the next button, and then click on the install button. the installation of Node.js will get started, and you can see that now Node.js is installing on my PC. So now what we are going to do is we are going to download a code editor. So what is a code editor? So we need a software where we can write our code. So in this course, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code Editor. So if you want to use Visual Studio Code Editor, and if you want to follow me in this course, you can download Visual Studio Code Editor. If you want to use any another software for writing code, you can use. But I'm going to use Visual Studio Code Editor, and that's why I will show you how you can also download Visual Studio Code Editor. So just in your browser, search Visual Studio Code download. Okay, so you will get the first link. Just click on the first link, and you just click on the first link, and you will be redirected to a page like this. And you can see that you are having here the option to download Visual Studio Code Editor according to your operating system. As I'm using Windows, I will download Visual Studio Code Editor for Windows. So I will click on this Windows button. Okay, and my Visual Studio Code Editor download will get started. You can see that my Visual Studio Code Editor setup is downloading. So this Visual Studio Code Editor software is created by Microsoft, and it is maintained by Microsoft. Okay, and you can see that Node.js has been successfully installed in our PC. So I will click on the Finish button. Now let's start installing Visual Studio Code Editor in our PC. Just open the Visual Studio Code Editor setup. First, it will show you license agreement. You can read the license agreement if you want, but I'm not going to read it. Okay, and I will click on the I accept the agreement, and I will click on the next button. Then I will tick all the tick marks. Okay, and I will click on the next button. Then I will click on the install button, and Visual Studio Code Editor will start installing in our PC. Okay, so until our Visual Studio Code Editor is installing, what we are going to do, just open your terminal, your command prompt, your PowerShell window according to your operating system. Just open a terminal or a command prompt. So I am in Windows, so I will open command prompt. I will open the command prompt, and in the command prompt or in your terminal, just type node and press enter. And when you will type node, if you see this type of text like welcome to Node.js, and you will see your Node.js version, and then just write here console.log hello world. So you can see that we are writing JavaScript in our command prompt. And how we are writing this JavaScript in our command prompt, we are using Node.js. So this command node, you can see that when we type this command node, we are able to write JavaScript in our command prompt. So if you can also able to do this type of work in your PC, then your Node.js is installed successfully in your PC. So our Node.js has been successfully installed our PC, and we had also checked that our node has installed using command prompt. So I will close this command prompt. So you can see that it is showing me as completing the Visual Studio Code setup wizard. So Visual Studio Code Editor has successfully installed in our PC. So I will take this launch Visual Studio Code, and I will click on the Finish button. So what it will do, it will open Visual Studio Code Editor in my PC. So that's it for this video, and I hope you guys learned or understand how you can install Node.js and what is Node.js, and how you can install Visual Studio Code Editor in your PC as well. So coders, in the last video, we installed Node.js and learned what is Node.js. And we also installed this Visual Studio Code Editor. So in this video, what we will do, we will download some packages that we will use in our this course, that we will use in this course. But before installing packages, just open your Visual Studio Code Editor and click on the file option, and then click on the open folder option. Before opening this and before doing this, just create a folder, and you can name that folder any name you want, and just open it using the process that I had shown you. So I had already created a folder named Udemy Socket.io tutorial, and I had opened it in my Visual Studio Code Editor, as you can see. Now you can open folder in Visual Studio Editor, just click on the file option and then click on the open folder option and then open the folder. Okay, yes. So now in your Visual Studio Editor, just click on this terminal option and then click on this new terminal option. So you will see that a terminal will be opened in your Visual Studio Editor. You can see that a terminal opened in my Visual Studio Editor. So in this terminal, you can write the commands that you want. Like you can type the commands like ERR that you use in command prompt. You can type the command, any command you want. So you can also type the command node here as well. So this is an inbuilt terminal in our Visual Studio Editor. So what I will do first I will initialize my project. So I will declare npm init. So if you don't know what is npm, so what I will do, in my browser, I will search here npm. Okay, and if I search here npm, then you will see this, and we will get the statement like this: npm is a package manager for JavaScript programming language maintained by npm. npm is default package manager for JavaScript runtime environment node.js. It consists of command line client, also called npm. So what is this npm? This npm automatically get installed in your PC when you install Node.js. And it is package manager for Node.js. So if you want to install packages for your Node.js, you use npm. So if in this course we will use Socket.io, so we have to install Socket.io in our PC, in our Node.js project. So how we can do that? We can do that using npm. Okay. So as I had given the command npm init, it is asking me some question. So I will give this package name. So I will type here Socket.io tutorial. In the version, I will click on the enter button, and in the description, I will simply type here Socket.io setup and tutorial, and I will press enter. Entry point index.js, test mark nothing. Git repository, I will type enter. Keywords enter. Author enter. License enter. Is this okay? Yes. So you can see that our folder that initialized a package.json file has been generated, and this package.json file is generated using that npm init command. And in this package.json file, you will see all the data that we had entered in the command. In that file, we gave the command npm init. Okay. So now, what I will do? First, I will install Express. So I will type npm install Express. So what is Express? Express is a web framework for Node.js. Okay, and we will use this Express. If you don't know Express, and if you think that you are a beginner in Express, don't worry. I will teach you every single line that I will write in this course. Okay, and I will also install one more package, which is EJS. So I will type npm install EJS, and it will start installing EJS. So now we had installed the packages that we will use in this course, and we will also install some more packages in next video. So that's it for this video. So in this video, we will set apart server using Express, and we will also serve HTML file. So as in the last video, we initialized our project, and we installed some packages and installed some packages. So now in the left side, in this Explorer tab, just hover on the folder name, the folder name which you had opened, and click on the first icon. And in this index.js, what we will do, first we will import Express. And in the last video, we installed Express. So I will type reponse Express is equals to require, and I will type here Express. So what we are doing, we are importing Express in our project. Okay, and then just we will create an app using this Express. So I will type here const app is equals to Express. So after this, we have to listen for a port. So I will type here app.listen, and we have to define the port So I will give here 3000 and then a callback function. And in this callback function, I will type console.log server running at http//localhost, and I will type here port 3000. And now what I'll do, I will save this file and I will open the terminal. And now what I'll do, I will type here node index.js file. So you can see that we are getting here server running at http localhost 3000. So now what I will do, I will press Control key in my keyboard, and I will click on this link http localhost 3000. So if I click on this link, you will see that it will get opened in my browser. But we are getting a error here that cannot get slash. So we have to define the routing for our project as well. So what I'll do, I will type here app.get, and what is this get? This is defining that if we get a get request, and I will type here slash. Then we have to define a callback function. And this callback function takes two parameters, which is request and response. And then what we will do, we will type here response.send hello world. So if I save this file, go back into my browser. Now if I refresh this file, you will see nothing changes. Why? Because we have to run our server again. We have to run this file index.js again. But I don't want to, because as you know that we are going to make changes in this index.js file again and again, and I don't want to run my server again and again. So what I will do, I will install here another package named node.mon. So I will type here npm I node.mon, and it will and npm will start installing node.mon in my project. So you can see that node.mon it's installed in our project. So what I will do, I will type here now node.mon index.js. So and it will run my index.js file. But if I make any changes in my index.js file, and if I save this file, it will restart my server automatically. So if I go back to my browser, refresh, you can see that we are getting hello. But we don't want to send this simple hello world. We want to render a HTML file. We want to send a HTML file to our user. So what we will do, we will create a folder in a project folder named views. And in this named views folder, we will make a index.js file, index.ejs file. And in this index.ejs file, we will add our HTML. We will type our HTML. So I will change the title to Socket.io tutorial, something like Socket.io tutorial. And in the body, I will give a h1 tag, and I will type here setup Socket.io, just something like this. And in an index.js file, what I will do, I will use response.render function, and in this render function, I will define the file name, this index.ejs file name. So I will type here index. But before saving this file and going into a browser, we also have to set up the template engine. So I will type here app.set view engine, and I will type here EJS. So when we were installing packages, we installed EJS. So I will save this file, and if I go back to my browser, now if I refresh this file, you can see that we are getting our index.ejs file, and we are getting our HTML setup Socket.io. So in this video, we created a server, our Express server, and we also learn how we can send a HTML file to our user. So that's it for this video. So coders, in this video, we will set up Socket.io with our server. So let's see how you can set up Socket.io. So first we have to import the HTTP module. So this HTTP module is built-in module in Node.js. So there is no need to install this HTTP module. So how we will require this, how we will import this HTTP module, we will first type a const server equal to require HTTP, and this is the name of this. This is the variable name. Okay. Yes. So after importing the HTTP, then we have to create server using this HTTP. So what we will do, we will after requiring the HTTP, we will use this module function dot create server, and in the dot create server we have to pass the app. And what is this app? This app is our Express app that we had written in the last video. Like first, as in the last video, we were first importing Express, then we were creating the app. And if you don't understand this app, don't worry. Now when we will do it in our Visual Studio Code, we will see what is app. So we have to pass the app. And after doing this, now we have to import the Socket.io module. So before importing the Socket.io module, we have to install the Socket.io module in our project. So we will first install the Socket.io module using npm. We will give the command npm install Socket.io. After installing the Socket.io, then we will use const io is equals to require Socket.io. Then we will import Socket.io. And how we will import Socket.io? We will use const io is equals to require Socket.io, and it will import the Socket.io. Okay, so this statement will import the Socket.io, and then after that we have to pass the server to Socket.io. So what is this server? This server is this server that we had created. This server is equals to require http dot create server, and we have to pass this server to Socket.io. So we will type const io is equals to require Socket.io, and then we will give the server. We will pass the server. And what setup we have to do on the client side, we will see it after setting up the Socket.io on this server. So guys, you can see that I'm in my Visual Studio Code editor. So first, let's install Socket.io. So in your terminal, give command npm install Socket.io, and it will start installing Socket.io. After installing Socket.io, what I will do, I will go into my package.json file, and in the script, I will remove this test, and I will add a script, dev start. I will add a script here, dev start, and in this dev start, I will give node1 index.js. Okay, and now what I will do, I will give here command npm run dev start. So what it will do, npm run dev start. This command npm run dev start will do this and node1 index.js file. So in our package.json file, in the dependencies, you can see that we had installed EJS, okay, Express, node1, and Socket.io. So what I will do, so one more thing, I will remove node1 from here, from dependencies, because we don't need node1 in dependencies. And what I will do, first I will I will uninstall the node1. So why I'm doing this? So guys, we don't need node1 in our dependencies. We need node1 in our dev dependencies. So I will type here node1 install minus d, npm install minus d node1. Okay, so now it will install node1 as a dev dependencies, not dependency. So it is installing node1. So, and I had also uninstalled the node1 before installing it. So now if I go back to my package.json file, So you can see that in the div dependencies we are having node1. So now what I will do, I will run that command npm run div start. So it will start my server. So now let's start setting up the Socket.io on the server. So first we have to import the HTTP module. So I will type here const server is equals to HTTP dot const server is equals to require HTTP module. Okay, and then we will use dot create server method, and in this create server method we have to pass the app. So what is this app? This app is this express app. Okay, yes, and then we have to import the Socket.io. So what I will do, I will type here const io is equals to require Socket.io, and then we have to pass here the server. And after doing this, we have to change this app.listen to server.listen. So if I save this file, now if I go back to my browser and open my localhost 3000, you will see that everything is running and we don't have any error. So this was the setup for server side. Let's understand what we had written. First, we are importing the Express module, and we know that Express is a web framework, and then we are creating an app using Express. And after that, we are importing then we are importing HTTP module, and we are creating server using this HTTP module, and then we are attaching this server with our app. So you can see that. And after that, we are requiring the Socket.io, and we are passing it server. And then we change the app.listen to server.listen. Okay, yes. So now let's set up Socket.io on the client side. So in my index.js file, what I had done, I had linked the Socket.io. I had linked this. I had imported the Socket.io as JavaScript CDN. So I had imported the Socket.io main file using CTN, as you can see, and I will also and as you know that I will give you the source code. So in the source code you will find this. You can copy this script tag, this CDN Socket.io script tag, and so our setup for Socket.io is completed. So on the client side, we just only have to import the CDN. Okay, and you can get the CDN from the source code. So I hope guys you understand what we are doing, and if you don't understand what we had done, don't worry. In this video we just set up the Socket.io, and after the few videos when we will start creating a group chat application, we will also also understand the server, what we had written on the server from the bottom and very deeply. So guys, that's it for this video. So let's start creating the UI for our group chat application. So first, in our index.js, what I will do, I will create a div with ID chat, and then in it I will create a div with ID container chat header. And in this chat header, what I will do, I will give a h2, and I will give it a title, like chat co, something like this. And after that, I will give a div with ID chat box, and in this div I will create a div, and in this div with I will create a p tag with class user, and I will give it Taran Jod, something like this, and then I will give it one more p tag chat message with class chat message, and I will type here uh, anything like hello from the Taran, and I will save this file. After this chat box, what I will do, I will create a div with ID in div with ID in and VTN in which first I will give a input, and then a button. In the button I will give the text send. Now I will save this file and I will run my server using node.mon. So I will type here node.mon index.js. So I will click on this link, and as you can see that our HTML applied, and we can see our HTML. So now let's start styling our HTML. So in order to add static files, first we have to do some settings for static files. So what I will do, so I will type here static files, and first we have to type here app.use express.static, and then in it we have to specify a folder name. So I will give it public, and now I will create a folder with name public, and in that folder I will create one more folder named css, and in that folder I will create a style.css, and in our index.js file I will try to link this style.css file. So I will type as css/style.css. So as we had given at app.use express.static public, what will happen when our website will load, our node.js will look for our style.css file in this public folder, and in this public folder with this path, like in the css folder in style.css file, because we had defined here that which folder we are using for static. So we are using the public folder. First, what I will do, I will reset the margin and padding, and I will do the box sizing code. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see the changes. Now styles are applying to our HTML. And now what I will do, in our index.ejs, we have a div with ID chat. So I will type here chat, and what I will do, I will give this div with ID chat first a background color. You can see that I have a colors.txt file, and in this colors.txt file I had to find some color. So I will copy this light color and I will paste it here, and after that I will give it width of 50 viewport width and height of 40 viewport height. So first save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, so you can see the changes. But I will not give this div with ID chat background color, this light background color. What I will do, I will give this div with ID chat this blue background color. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, now you can see the changes. We are having that blue color. So now one more thing I will do, I will make this div with ID chat display flags and align items center and flex direction column. If I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see that our content is in the center from left and right side. Okay, so now what I will do, in a inside a div with ID chat, we have a div with ID chat header. So what we will do, let's style this. So I will type here chat, and then I will type here chat header, and I will make this chat header with 100% and text align left. I will make the font size to 2 rem and color to light color that we have here. I will copy it, and I will make this background color to this dark blue background color, but I will make it little light. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see the changes. Okay, yes. And one more thing, what I'll do, I will give our body styling that it takes width of 100 viewport width and height 100 viewport height. Okay, and I will give the light color as background color. I will make the background color light color, and this chat header background color I will make it little bit dark as well. Now if I save this file, go back to my browser, yes, you can see the change. So now what I will do, I will go to fonts.google.com. Here I will select the pop-ins, and I will click on the pop-ins, and I will select the regular 400. Click on select this file, regular 400, and I will copy the import statement, and I will paste it in my style.css file, and I will in the body font family In the body, I will give a property font family opens. If I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see that we are having pop-ins. One more thing, I will copy the bold, this semi-bold as well, and I will click on select style, and I will copy this import statement now and replace it with the import statement that we had pasted. And in our div with chat header, I will give font weight of 600. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh. Okay, you can see the changes. So now, what I will do, I will give this chat margin uh, top bottom of 50 pixel and left right 100 pixel. So save this file, go back to my browser. Okay, so it is having margin as well. And one more thing, I will give body overflow hidden. Okay, yeah. So now let's start styling our div, this div with ID chat box. So what I'll do, I will type here chat and chat box, and then I will type here width. I will give it width 100% to take the complete width, and height height 50%. Okay, and after that I will give it a background color of white, and I will make it display flex direction column. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see the changes. And now one more thing, I will give it padding, and I will give it a padding. No, I will not give it a padding. So I will type here chat box and then dot message. So what I'll do, I will give it a width of 30 viewport 30 viewport width, and I will give it height, and I will give it a min height of 5 viewport height, and I will give it a background color, this same background color, this blue background color, but I will make it and I will make it light. Okay, so if I say this file, go back to my browser, refresh. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. And one more thing, I will give it margin 10 pixel and 50 pixel. So I save this file, go back to my browser. Okay, it is having the margin as well. So inside this div message, we have a p tag. We have a p tag. Okay, and I will make that p tag color blue. I'll make the p tag color blue. Okay, and if I save this file, go back to my browser. Okay, and I will type here not p tag. I will type here dot user. Okay, I will give this message padding of 10 pixel and 10 pixel. Give padding of 10 pixel. Okay, so it is some padding as well. And one more thing, I will give it border radius of 5 pixels. So I will save this file, go back to my browser. It is some border radius as well. And one more thing, in the chat header, what I will do, I will give it padding as well. 0 pixel of top bottom and 50 pixel of left right. So this file, it is having so you can see that it is having padding as well. And one more thing, I will make the this div with ID chat border radius 10 pixel. So I also have to give this border radius property to chat header as well. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see that it is having border as well. So now one more thing, what I will do, in a body we will give display flex. Okay, and justify content center and align item center. So if I save this file, refresh. Okay, we are having this container in the center. And one more thing I will do, I will increase this div with ID chat to 50 viewport height, and if I refresh this. Okay, and one more thing, I will change the height of this chat box to 70%. So refresh, so it is taking 70% height. Okay, so Now it's looking good. So let's start styling our this input. So we have this div with id in and btn. So let's start styling it. So I will type it chat and then chat and div with id in and btn. I will change it to a class. Okay, I will not give it id. I will change it to class. And what I will do, I will give this div with 100 viewport width and height uh, and height 20%. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, it is taking the width and height. Okay, and now what I will do, I will duplicate it and I will type the input and I will make the input width as 80% and height as 10% as well. And I will change this background color to some light background color. So I will some light background color which we are having in colors.txt. Okay, and then I will change the color to black. Okay. I'll change the color to black and I will change the color to black and I will change the border radius to 10 pixels. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, it's looking very weird. So I have to increase the height. I will increase the height to 20%. Now I have to increase the height to 50%. So if I save this file, okay. And one more thing in PTN, yeah, in this div with the class in PTN, I will make the display flags justify content center line items center. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, you can see that we are having the input and our button in the center. And now one more thing, I will change the border to none. Okay, yes, and I will give it some padding as well. 10 pixel top, 15 pixel left right. So if I say this file, refresh, yes, it is I'm padding. And okay, so let's start styling the button. So I will paste it and I will type here button and I will give this button a padding of 10 pixel top bottom and 20 pixel left right. Color and the dark blue color and background color, the light background color. Give it light background color. Save this file. Okay. And what I will do, I will remove the border radius from our input. Okay. I will remove the border radius. So if I refresh this file, okay, we are having our input and our button as well. And one more thing, I will remove the border from button. I will make the border none. And if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh. Okay. And I will decrease some top bottom padding to 8 pixel. So if I save this file, refresh. No, I will increase it to 9 pixels. Let's save this file. Okay. And one more thing, I will give it a little margin for the left side. Save this file, refresh. Okay. So we had completed the UI for our group chat application, and in from the next video we will start implementing the chat application, and we will start implementing the chat features, and we will learn the Socket.io. Okay, so if you had not understand anything till now, and if you had not understand how we had set up what is this server doing, what is this IO doing, just wait for next videos. In the next video, I will teach you everything. I will tell you everything. What is this server doing? What is this IO doing? And from the next video, we will start our Socket.io as well. So that's it for video. So let's meet in the next video. So coders, let's see what is Socket.Emit. So let's take example of chat application using Socket.io. So in order to learn what is Socket.Emit, we will take the example of chat application, and we will assume that this chat application is built using Socket.io. So if the chat application is built using Socket.io, then we know that the connection between the Socket.io server and the client is persistent, and that connection and the Socket.io and the client is connected. So first, let's assume user is connected to the server, to the Socket.io server. So we are assuming here that the user, the client, user or the client is connected to the server, to the Socket.io server. So okay, so if they are connected to the Socket.io server, then the connection between the user and the client is persistent. The connection between the user and the server is alive, and our user and server is connected. So how a chat application works? So what are the functionalities of chat application? So the user or the client sends the message to the server. Okay, so what happens? User will type message and user will send it to the server. And server, on receiving the message, server knows that the server received the message. Server will send the message to the other users. So in the first line, you can see that user sends the message. But how can user send the message to the Socket.io server? We know that user and Socket.io server is connected. But how can user can send the message to the Socket.io server? And how can server send the message to the other user? So in order to send message to the server and from server to the client, we use Socket.Emit. So what is the Socket.Emit? If the user on the client want to send the data, or client want to send something to server, client can use Socket.Emit method. So we will use Socket.Emit method on the client side. And if the server want to send data to the user, we will use Socket.Emit method. So we can use the Socket.Emit method on both server and on both client side. Okay. Yes. Yes. So Socket.Emit takes event name, and you can give this event name any name you want. And we have some built-in events in Socket.io as well, and we will see that in the next videos. But in the Socket.Emit, you can give event name, and you can give this event name any name you want. And after that, you have to provide the data. So what is this data? So this is the data that you want to send to the server. If we are using Socket.Emit function on the user or the client side, then what it will do, it will send this event to the server with this data, and server will perform its task according to the event. And we can also use the Socket.Emit method on the server side to send the data to the user. And on the server side, we also have to provide the event name, and we can give this event name any name we want, and we also have to provide the data. And this is the data that server wants to just send to the user. Okay, so as we can see that in this diagram, this is a user can send data to the server, and server can send data to the user using this Socket.Emit method. So let's see it practically in order to make it more clear. So coders, you can see that I am in my index.js file. So what I will do here something like io.on connection, and what I am writing now, you don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand anything. And understand anything that I am writing. You just only have to focus on the Socket.Emit. Okay, so what is this? So you don't have to understand this IO on connection, because in the next videos I will explain you everything what is to Socket.io on, what is this IO on connection. But as I want to show you what is Socket.Emit and how Socket.Emit work, that's why I am writing this code. But you only have to focus on the Socket.Emit. Okay, so in the index.js file, I will add a script tag here. And what I'm writing in script, this script tag, you don't have to understand this as well. Okay, just focus on the Socket.Emit. So let me do it. Okay, you just only have to focus on the Socket.Emit method. You don't have to understand what I'm writing here and what I'm writing here. But I will also give you a simple overview what we are doing. We are just connecting to our Socket.io server and using the we are connected to our Socket.io server. So now just only focus on the Socket.Emit method. So now our user want to send data to the server. So now our user and server is connected. Okay. So now user want to send data to the server. So what will user do? User will use the Socket.Emit method, and in this emit method, first we have to provide the event name. So let's give this event name send. Okay. You can give this event name any name you want, and then we have to provide our data. So I will give here data from the client. Okay. So I had given data from the client in the data section, or in this data parameter. Okay. And in the index.js file, what I will do, I will type here something like Socket.on, and I will type here send, and okay, and I will console.log this data, console.log this data. So if I save this file, go back into our browser and refresh the website and go back to my terminal, you can see that we are getting data from the client. So you can see that the Socket.Emit is working, and using the Socket.Emit we can send data to the server. Okay, and what we had written here is on socket is equals to io, this io.connection socket.on send. Don't try to understand this code. Don't try to understand, because I will teach you what we had done and how we can connect a Socket.io server in the next videos. Just only focus on the Socket.Emit. In the Socket.Emit, for now, just only focus on the Socket.Emit method, and only understand that the understand the Socket.Emit. So this Socket.Emit sends data to this send data to the server, and it take event and the data in order to send data to the server. So coders, let's learn what is Socket.on method. So this Socket.on method also takes an event name and a function, and we can't give this event name any name we want, like we were giving in the Socket.Emit method. As you know that in the Socket.Emit method we can give event name any name we want, but in the Socket.on method we can't give the any event name that we want. Okay, and what is this Socket.on? This Socket.on is used for handling event. So what does it mean? So I want to take you back to the last video slides, this Socket.Emit method slides. So in the Socket.Emit, we are giving a event name. We know that we provide a event name and the data, and this Socket.Emit will send this event to the server with this data, or from the server to the client with this data. And to handle this event, we know that the Socket.Emit will send this event with this data to the server, or if the server uses Socket.Emit, then server will send this event with this data to the client. So in order to handle this event, we use Socket.on. So this Socket.on is used to handle the event. And what are this event and these events? So which type of event it is used to handle? It is used to handle some inbuilt events, and it is also used to handle the events that we are sending using the Socket.Emit method. So you can see that on receiving the event, it will call the callback function. So let's take example of chat application using Socket.io. So we are taking the example of chat application in order to learn what is Socket.on, and we are assuming that this chat application is built using Socket.io. Okay, we are assuming that this chat application is built using Socket.io. So how a chat application works? So user sends the message. So we know that if user want to send the message, if user want to send data to the server, we can use Socket.Emit method. Okay, and to handle the Socket.Emit method, we use Socket.on method. So if I go into the next slide, you can see that I'm having here the same line that for Socket.on is used for handling event. So let's see it practically to make it more clear. So In our index.ejs file, we are sending here socket.emit send and data from client. So I will comment it here. So I will send one more. So what I will do, in our body, I will add a button here. Okay, I will add a button here, and in this button, I will give send data to the server. Okay, something like this, and I will select this button here. So I will type here const btn is equals to document dot query selector, and I will type here button. Okay, and then what I will do, I will type here button dot on click is equals to, I will run this callback function. I have to provide this callback function. Okay, so whenever the user will click on this button, what I will do, I will send a data to the server. So I will send some data to the server. So I will give this event name like btn data, something like this, and then we will have to provide the data. So I will send here btn data on click, something like anything I will give here. Okay, and you can give this event name any name you want. So now we know that on click this socket.emit this socket.emit function will run, and it will send this event name, this btn data to the server with this data. So if I go back to my browser and refresh, and now if I click on this send data to the server, so you can see that I click on this send data to the server. Now if I open my terminal, you can see nothing is happening. We are not getting this btn data on click. Why? Because we have to handle the socket.emit on the server side, and to handle the socket.emit, we have to use socket.on. So I will type socket.on, and we have to pass here the event name which we want to handle. So I will pass here this btn data. Okay, btn data, and then we have to give a callback function, and this callback function takes data as parameter. And what is this data? This data is this data that the user is sending to us. Okay, so and then what I will do, I will console.log here data. So if I save this file, go back in my browser, now refresh and click on the send data to the server. Now if I go back to my server, now if I open my terminal, you can see that we are getting here btn data on click. So to handle socket.emit, we use socket.on. So one more thing I can do, I can send data back to this user. Okay, how can I send data back to the user? I can use socket.emit method on the server side. I will type here socket.emit, and I will give the event name, and I can get any event name that I want to So like let's give this event name server event. Okay, then we have to give the provide the data. So I will give here the data from the server. Okay, and if I go back to my browser and open my console, okay, if I go back to my browser, open my console, if I refresh this website, now if I click on this send data to the server, you can see, and open my terminal, you can see that nothing is happening. Why? Because we are not doing anything. We are just sending back data to the user. So I will type and I will console.log here data. So if I save this file, open terminal and go back to my browser and refresh and click on send data to the server, you can see that we are getting here btn data on click. But as you can see that we are sending data back to the user using the socket.emit. So in order to get this data on the user side, on the client side, we have to first handle this event. So what I will do, on the client side, I will do Socket.on, and we have to pass here the event name. So I will type here server event. Okay, and we have to then give here a callback function, and this callback function takes data as parameter. Okay, and we have to console.log data. So I'm console.logging data, but like when we were when we were creating a website using Socket.io, we will be doing our task according to the data. Okay, so if I go back to my browser, refresh, click on send data to the server, you can see that we are getting from the server. So this send data to the server sends data to the server, the Socket.emit, and when server get this data, and the server send back the data to the user. You can see that we are getting here the data from the server. Okay, yes. So I hope you guys understand what is Socket.Emit and what is Socket.on. And if you guys are confused that what we are doing here, how we are getting this socket, then just leave it, guys. For now, just only focus on this Socket.Emit and Socket.on. Okay. And in the next videos, I will and in the next videos, I will show you how you can connect to the Socket.io server. And in that video, we will learn what is this const socket is equals to IO and where we are getting this socket, and what is this IO.on connection, and what is this socket. Just in this video, you only have to focus on the Socket.on, and just you only have to understand what is Socket.on. So I hope you guys understand what is Socket.on and what is Socket.emit method. So coders, let's learn what we have written in our server side. So what I will do, so let me show you. First, we had imported this express. So what is this express? So if you search here express.js, then and we will get the express.js website. So if I click on this, then express.js is fast, unopinionated, minimalist web framework for Node.js. So express.js is web framework for Node.js, and it makes very easy to make website in Node.js. And then what we are doing, then we are creating the app from this express. Okay, and then using the HTTP module, we are creating a server, and in that server we are passing this app. Okay, we are passing this app, and after that we are importing our Socket.io library, and in the Socket.io library, after requiring the Socket.io library, we are passing the server, okay, to the Socket.io library, and in exchange of app.listen, we are doing server.listen. So and server.listen. Okay, so this is the work that we are doing on this server side, and this is the work that we had done to set up the Socket.io. And after that, we are setting up our static files, that app.use express.static, and we are defining it the public folder. And then we are setting our view engine for view engine. So what is view engine? So what is this view engine? So this view engine allows us to write some JavaScript in our templates as well. Okay, so we are using this view engine, and we have defined a one route, that whenever user will get on our website, then what we will do, we will enter this index.ejs file. So this is the code that we are doing on this server side, and I hope you guys understand the code on the server side. So coders, let's create a function that will display message to the user. So what I will do, in my public folder, I will create one more folder called JS, and in this JS folder, I will create a script.js file, script.js. And in this script.js, first what I will do, first I will select this div with ID chat box. But before doing this, we have to link this script.js file with our index.ejs file. So I will type here js/script.js. So first I will type here const chat box is equals to document.query selector, and I will type here ID chat box. So what I'm doing here, first I'm selecting this div with ID chat box. Okay, and then what I will do, I will create a function, and this function name, I will give this function name as display message, and this function will take first username and message. Okay, so this function is taking user and message parameter. So first what I will do, I will create a div using JavaScript. I will type it const div is equal to document.create element, and I will type here div. So I am creating a div using JavaScript. Okay, and then I will give this div a class list, a class of message, because you can see that we have a div with class message. Okay, yes. Then what I will do, I will make this div.inner HTML is equals to, and I will copy the HTML from here. Okay, and I will use template literals, and I will paste it here, and I will change this name to $user, and this message to $curly braces open curly braces close message. And then what I will do, I will type here chat box dot append child, and I will give here div. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser and refresh and open the console, and if I try to call that display message function, so first I will give the username, let's say let's give user simmer and message hello from simmer, hello from simmer. Okay, so if I call this function, you can see that we are getting simmer, hello from simmer. So we are getting the message. Okay, so this function is running successfully. So I hope you guys understand the logic behind this display message function, and that's it for this video. So coders, let's connect our client to the server. Let's connect to our Socket.io server. So what I'll do, first I will open the console, and now what I will do, I will go back in my script.js file. So before so on the top, first what I will do, I will type here const socket is equals to io, and we have to type here the URL. So I will type here http localhost and I will type here 3000. So as we know that our server is running at localhost as localhost 3000, that's why I had given here localhost 3000. And in an index.egs file, before linking the script.js file, we had linked the CDN, or we had linked the Socket.io JavaScript file using CDN, and we are getting this IO method from that CDN. So what will this IO method do? It will try to connect to this URL which we are specifying, and on the index.js file, like as we had set up the Socket.io, now we have to handle the connections. So what we have to do, so on the server.listen, I will type here io dot on. So what is this io? This is io. This is this variable io, and this on, we know that this on function is used to handle event, and I will type here the event name connection, and I will give here a callback function which takes socket as argument, socket as parameter. Socket as parameter. And what I will do, I will console.log here. Connected on the server. If I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, and go back to my Visual Studio Code editor, and if I open my console, you can see that connected on the server is printed. So our client got connected to the server. So this is as simple. So in order to connect to our server, just we have to type here const socket is equals to io and the URL. And in order to check on the client side that if we had connected or not, what we can do, we can type here simple socket.on, and we will type here connect, and then we have to provide here a callback function. So what we'll do, we will give here a callback function. Okay, and we will give here the callback function, and we will console.log here connected. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, you can see that we are getting connected on our client side as well. So now we had connected to our Socket.io server. So coders, let's send an event from client side to the server side. So in the last slides, we had learned Socket.Emit and Socket.on, and we will use Socket.Emit. So I will type here in our script.js file, what I will do, I will type here emitting or sending data to the server. So what I will do, I will type here Socket.Emit, and I will type here the event name. So I will send here, let's say let's send event name send. Okay, and then we have to provide that data. So what I'll do, I will give here a simple string that data from the user. So if I save this file, so now what will happen? So if I refresh my website, it will So what it will do, this Socket.Emit will send this event to our server. So you can see that nothing is happening. Why? We also have to handle this event on our server side. So in our index.js file, in our IO on connection, what we will do, inside this IO.on connection callback function, we will handle this events. We will handle the events that are coming to the server from the client. So I will type it socket.on. This socket.on function takes the event name. So I will type it send. So I am giving here the event name, this send event name, and it also take a callback function. And in this callback function, what it will do, it will take a parameter which is data. You can give it this parameter name any name you want, but in this data parameter, we will get this data that user is trying to send. So what I will do, I will console.log the data. So I will console.log here the data. Okay. So now I will open the terminal. So if I go back to my browser, and you can see that it is showing me some error. So what I'll do, I will refresh this website. So if I go back to my server, you can see that we are getting data from the user. So if I change this data from the user to hey server. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, and if I open my terminal, you can see that we are getting here hey server. So what is this Socket.Emit? What is this Socket.Emit doing? This Socket.Emit is sending this event and this data to the server, and server is handling this event using this Socket.on function. And this Socket.on function is taking the event name. Whenever the user will send this event, this send event, this callback function will run. And what is this IO.on connection function? This IO.on connection function will always run whenever a user will connect to our website. Okay. Yes. So let's see one more example. So what we will do, we will make a variable here, const name is equals to, and we will prompt user. So I will type here username. So we will prompt user for username. Okay. And when okay, yes, and then we will send. And what we will do, then we will send Socket.Emit. We will send here join function, and we will type here Socket.Emit join. And in the data, what we will do, we will send the name of the user. And on Socket.on, what we will do, we will type here Socket.Emit. We will type here Socket.Emit, and then what we will do, we will type here the message, something like this message, and then we will type here the data. Okay, we are typing here the data. So now if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, first it will ask me name, so I will type here sever. So if I go back to my terminal, you will see that we are getting here we are getting nothing. But in our index.js file, we are console.logging the data. Okay, so we are not handling this join event. So we have to handle this join event. So I will change this Socket.on this event name to join. So if I save this file and open terminal, if I go back to my browser, refresh, give it name simmer. So in a terminal, you can see that we are getting here simmer, because we are sending the name from the client side to the server. Okay, yes. And then what we are doing in this callback function, we are doing Socket.Emit message data. So we are sending back data to the user. So we have to handle this on the user, on the client side. So what I will do, I will type here handling events. To handle events on the client side, we also use Socket.on. So I will type here Socket.on, and I will type here message, the event which server is sending. Okay, and then I have to provide here a callback function, and this callback function takes data as parameter. And then what I'll do, I will console.log from this server. Okay, and then I will give a plus sign and the data. So if I say this file, go back to my browser, refresh, it will ask me name. So I will type here simmer. So you can see that we send. So you can see that a server also got the data simmer, and then a server sent the data to the user as well, Socket.Emit data. So if I go back to my browser, you can see that we are getting here from the server simmer. So I hope you can I hope you guys understand what is difference between Socket.on, Socket.Emit. So I hope you guys understand how we can send data from client side to the server and from server to the client side. So from the server, on the server side we can use Socket.Emit, and on the client side we can use Socket.Emit, and on the server we can use Socket.on, and on the client side we can use Socket.on. So coders, let's see what is this Socket.broadcast.emit. So this Socket.broadcast.emit will send data to the other user. So what does it mean? So let's say this is a server and this is the users connected to our server. So this one user sends message to our server. Okay, so this one user sends message to our server. So what will this server do? This server will do Socket.broadcast.emit, and it will type at the event name. So this Socket.broadcast.emit, what it will do? It will send the message that this user has sent to the other users connected to our server. Okay, and this is the thing that this Socket.broadcast will do. Only it will send data to the other's user. Only it will send the data to the other user connected to our Socket.io server. So coders, let's see the difference between Socket.emit and Socket.broadcast.emit. So in a server side, we are doing this Socket.emit. So we are sending back user the data. So if I open a new browser, and type a localhost 3000, then it is asking me the user. Then it is asking me the username as well, and I will give here sync. Okay, so I go back to my browser. Also, if I open my terminal, you can see that we are getting here sync. And in the another tab, if I refresh, and it is also asking me that your username, I type here sever, so we are getting here sever. So you can see that in the console. So if I open the another tab in the another console, so you can see that on the console of the both browser, we are getting here from the server sever, from the server sync. So this Socket.emit is only sending the data to only one user. It is not sending data to the other user as well. So if I type here Socket.broadcast.emit, okay, so if I type here Socket.broadcast.emit, so now if I go back to my browser, and if I make this console smaller, a little bit smaller, okay, a little bit smaller, okay, so now what I will do, I will clear the console. So now just see on the both side of the console. If I refresh here and type here the name sever, then see we are getting here connected, but we are not getting here now from this server. So we are getting here from the server sever on the another browser. So what does this Socket.broadcast do? This Socket.broadcast will send data to the other users connected to the socket, but it will not send the data to the user who had sent it. Okay, so you can see. So if I refresh this browser and give here name Taranjot and click on the OK button, on the left side you can see that we are getting here from the server Taranjot. Now we are not getting here in this browser. Now this Socket.emit, this Socket.broadcast.emit, what it will do, it will send the data to the other users connected to our Socket server. Okay, so I hope you guys understand the difference between Socket.emit and Socket.broadcast.emit. So coders, from this video, we will start creating our group chat application. And in this video, we will create the functionality of that user can join the group chat, and we will send the user joined message to the other user. So let's start. So you can see that I'm back in my Visual Studio Code editor, and we have our const socket is equals to io, and our server URL here to connect to our Socket.io server, and in our index.js file you can see that we are not having the IO on connection because before creating this video I had just removed the before code that we had written. So what I'll do, I will type here io.on connection, okay. So in this io.on connection, after that I will give it a callback function. And this io.on connection function and this io.on connection will always run whenever a user will join to our server. So I will console.log here connected. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser and refresh, and if I open my terminal, you can see that we are getting here connected. So our so our user can connect to the server. We had that created that functionality. Okay, and if you want to check that a user had connected to the server or not on the client side, you can use a built-in event which is connect on this client side, and this connect function will always run whenever the user will join, whenever user will connect to the server. Okay, so I will console.log here connect. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh and open the console, you can see that we are getting the connected. Okay, yes. So now what I will do, first I will ask user for a username. So I will type here const username is equals to prompt, and I will type here username. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, so it is asking me for username. Okay, so we will ask user the username. Okay, yes. So when user will give us the username, what we will do, we will Socket.Emit, we will send this username to the server. So how we will send, we will send event name join, and we will send this username. Okay, we will send this user name. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh and type here something like simmer, nothing happens because we are only sending the data to the server. We are only sending the event. So on the server side, in our io.on connection callback function, we will use this socket function to handle the events. So what I will do, I will type here socket.on, and I will type here join. So where so this Socket.on, we know that the Socket.on is used to handle events, and we are getting this join event. Okay, so we are handling this join event, and we will give here a callback function with a parameter data. Okay, with the parameter data, and in this parameter data, we know that we are getting the username. So what we will do, we will console here now data. Okay, so I will open the terminal. So I will go back to my browser, refresh, and I will give here simmer. So if I go back to my terminal, you can see that we are getting the username. Okay, yes. So now what I will do, I will create here I will create a users object. Okay, users object in my server. You can see that. And what I will do, I will show you something that socket.id. So if I console.log this socket.id, and if I open my terminal and go back to my browser, refresh and give it a name. So if I back to my browser, you can see that we are getting here a random string. So what is this? This is a unique ID. So whenever a user will connect to a Socket.io server, a Socket.io server will give the user a unique ID, and we can access that unique ID using Socket.id. Okay, yes. So what we will do, I will type here users, and I will give here Socket.id and equal to data. Okay, in the data we know that we are getting the username, so I will change this data to username. Okay, so I will change this data to username because we are getting the username. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, give it name simmer. So go back to my browser, nothing happens because we are only doing this users socket at id is equals to username. So I will console.log this users object. Okay, so now if I open my terminal, go back to my browser, refresh and give it name Taranjot, something like this. And if I go back to my browser terminal, you can see that in our object we are having this key as we are having this socket.id as key and the username as value. Okay, yes. So now what we will do, we will socket.broadcast.emit here. So what will this socket.broadcast.emit will do? We know that it will send the data to the other user connected to the Socket.io server. So first I will give the first I will give the event name. So I will give here joint user, and then what I have to give the data. So what I will do, I will give here the username we are getting. Okay. Yes. So we have to handle this joint user event on our client side as well. So what I will do, I will comment here handling events on the client side. So in our script.js file, what I will do, I will type here Socket.on, and I will type here joint user. Okay. So we are sending joint user event to the client. Okay. So we have to give it a callback function. So in this callback function, it takes data as a parameter, and what we will do, we will run this display message function. So we will run this display message function, and this display message function first takes the username. So we will give here data, and then we have to give the message. So in the message, what we will do, we will use a string template letters, and we will type here that dollar curly braces open curly braces close, and here we will give data joint the chat. So let me tell you again that what we are doing. So whenever user will access our website, first it will create connection, then we will ask the user for the username, then the user will give us the username, then we will send the this event joint event with the data with the username as data to our server. On receiving this event, what it will do, first it will add that username to this user's object, and then send this event to joint user with username as data to the other user connected to the socket. So what I will do, I will open two browsers. Okay, so I will open two browsers, and in second browser I will open our website localhost 3000. So it is asking me for the username, so I will give here sever. So if I click on the OK button, nothing is happening. I think we got an error. So in our console, I think something we are getting any error. So why we are not getting that message, that display message? So we had given here socket.on joint user. So okay, I think we have to refresh website on the both side. So I will refresh here as well. So I will give it name simmer. So if I click on the OK button, you can see that we are getting here simmer joint the chat. So if I refresh here and give it name Taran and click on the OK button, we are getting here Taran joint the chat. So our joint functionality is completed. So I hope guys you understand the logic behind this joint functionality. And one more time I will explain to you what we had written. So user will request to our website, we know that, and we will get the user this index file. Okay, and when user will get this index file, in our index.js file we had linked our script.js file. So our script.js file will run, and we know that first what it will do, it will create the connection to our server. Okay, and after that it will ask user for the username. When user will give the username, we will send that username to our server with this event join. And when our server will get this event, what it will do, first it will add the user to this user's object, and then it will send this joint event to the other user connected to our Socket.io with username as data. Okay, and the other user on receiving this joint user event will run this callback function, and in this callback function we are running display message function in which we are giving the data. Okay, in which we are giving the data as first parameter, which is user, and the message which is data joint the chat, and in the data we note that we are getting the username. Okay, so I hope guys you understand the logic behind this joint functionality. So coders, in the last video we had completed the functionality of that user joint the chat. So if I refresh this website, and it will ask me the username, let's give it username Rahul. Okay, and click on the OK button. On the another browser you can see that we are getting Rahul joined the chat. And if I refresh here and give it a name like I can give it name simmer, click on the OK button. On the other browser, we are getting similar to empty chat. Okay, yes. But now, if user want to send message, but now user can't send message. And in this video, we will implement this functionality that user can send message to the other users. So let's start. So what I will do first, so in our index.js file, we know that we are having this input and this button. So first we have to select this input and button in our script.js file. Okay. So what I will do, I will comment here selecting elements, and here I will comment here that connecting to the server. So why I am commenting here in the code, because I have to give this source code to you guys. So if you open the source code after some time, and and using this command, you can understand what we are what is happening in our script.js file. And I will also give a command asking user for the username. And what I'll do, I will comment here sending events to the server and handling events on the client side. Okay, yes, and selecting element. So first we will select the input box. So I will type a document const input is equals to document.query selector, and I will give here input. Okay, yes. And then what I will do, I will also select the button. So I will type here const button is equals to document dot query selector, and I will give here button. Okay, yes. So as we know that document dot query selector selects the first element that will match. So in our index.js file, we are only having one input and one button. So it will select this input and this button. So if I console.log this input and button in my file, so if I console.log this input and button, and if I save this file, go back to my browser, and now I will refresh this website and give it username like simmer, and I will open the console. Okay, so in the console, you can see that we are getting the input and button. Okay, yes. So now what we will do, we will add an event listener to this button. Okay, so in this button, what we will do, we will add a button, we will add an event listener to this button, a click event listener. So whenever user will click on this button, we will get this input element value, and we will send it to the server. So I will type here button.add event listener, and I will type here click, because we are adding click event listener to this button, and we have to give a callback function as the second argument. Okay, yes. And what I'll do, I will console.log here click. So now what I will do, so now for now I will comment this const username is equals to prompt username and Socket.Emit join. Okay, because I don't want to give username again and again whenever I will refresh the website, because as we are adding this functionality, we will refresh the website many times. Okay, but so now if I go back to my browser, refresh the website, and click on the send button, you can see that click is getting printed in our console. Okay, yes. So now what I will do, first I will type here if statement. So I will type here if input dot value equal to blank, then alert user, please type something. Please type something. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser and refresh, and if I click on the send button, you can see that we are getting a alert, please type something. Okay, yes. So what if I type something in our input box? Now if I click on the send button, nothing is happening because we are not handling it. So now I will write an else statement here, and this else statement will only work if this if statement becomes false. So in our else statement, what we will do Socket.Emit, and we will give this event name chat message. Okay, chat message, and we have to give here the data. So in the data, I will give here input dot value. Okay, I will give here input dot value. So now what I will do, input dot value. So now what I will do, in a server, in our index.js file, I will handle this event. So I will type here socket.on and I will type here chat message, socket.on chat message. So it takes a callback function and a socket as parameter. Oh, sorry, not socket as parameter, data as parameter. And what we will do, we will do a socket dot broadcast socket.broadcast.emit. And what we will do, we have to give here the event name. So I will give here chat, okay, and then we have to give the data. So in the data, what I will do, I will send the object in which first I will send the username, and in the username what I will do, I will give here users and I will type here socket.id. Socket.id. Okay, yes, and I will add here a message as well. I will add here a message, and in the message what I will do, I will give here the data. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, refresh, and type something, nothing will happen because we are only sending the chat message to the other user. So what I am doing here, first let me explain you. So whenever a user will click on this button, we will send a event named chat message with input dot value to the server. Server receiving this chat message event will send that chat message to the other user, but server will send an object. In that object, we are first having a key value pair of username, and in the socket.id, we will get the ID of the user that is sending the message. Okay, so that's why we are typing here username user socket.id. So we will get the username from this. So we are user socket ID. So we are getting the username from this users, and then we in the message, then in the second key value pair, we are giving message as key and data as value. So we have to handle this chat message on the client side as well. So what I will do, in this handling events on the client side, I will type here socket.on and I will give here chat, the event name, which server is sending us, okay, this, and we have to give here a callback function with the parameter data. So in this data parameter, we know that we are getting the object, and we will call this display message function, and in this display message function, first I will give the data dot username and then data dot msg. In the data dot username, we are getting the username, and in the data dot msg, we are getting the message. Okay, so now what I will do, I will uncomment this const prompt username and this socket.emit join as well. So if I save this file, go back to my browser, I will open another two browsers. Okay, and first I will refresh this browser and I will give it name Rahul, and I will click on the OK button. So we are getting here message Rahul joined the chat, and we will refresh here as well. So I will give here Simmer. Click on the OK button. We are getting here Simmer joined the chat. So if I try to send a message from this browser to the server, let me send hello from the Rahul. So if I click on the send button, you can see that we are getting here hello from the Rahul. So if I try to send chat message from this browser, like hello Rahul, hi from the Simmer. Click on the OK button. We are getting the message here. Hello Rahul, hi from the Simmer. But I want to show you one thing. When I am sending message, I can't see my message in this browser. I can't see the message that I had sent to the user on the sent to the other user. Okay. So in order to solve this problem, what I will do? Whenever user will send message to the server, I will run this display message function. Okay, I will run this display message function. So I will run this display message function, and in this display message function, what I will do, I will give here username, and then I will give here the input dot value. So if I save this file, go back to my browser,
Okay, so if I refresh here, so I will open two browser and I will refresh here and give it name simmer. Click on the OK button. You can see that we are getting here simmer join the chat, and I will refresh here and I will give it Rahul as username. So we are getting here Rahul join the chat. So if Rahul, so if this browser sent message, let me send hello from the Rahul. So if I click on send button, you can see that we are getting the Rahul, hello from the Rahul or chat message on the other browser, and hello from the Rahul in the Rahul browser as well. So what I mean that in this browser we are getting the chat message as well. Okay, yes. So I will send here hi Rahul. So Sima send the message hi Rahul, and I will send here something like hello again. So we are getting here hello again. Okay, so what I will do, one more thing, I will change change something in my style.css. But I will change the chat box. I will give one more property to this chat box. I will give overflow y scroll. Okay, yes. If I go back to my browser now, if I try to chat from this to browser, I will refresh this. So what I'll do, I will type simmer again and I will refresh Rahul. So if this simmer send hi again and again, so I will click on send button. I will click on send button. You can see that we are getting here the scroll bar. Okay, yes, but this our message is overflowing from our this div. So I also have the solution for this. In the message, so in the message we are giving here main height of 5 viewport height. Okay, we will not give the height. Okay, we will not give the height. So if I save this file, go back to my browser and refresh, and I will give it name Rahul. Okay, and here I will refresh here as well. I will give it name simmer. So you're getting here simmer join the chat. So I will send the message again and again. And now, so now you can see that the text is not overflowing. So if I send a long text, okay, so if I try to send a long text and click on the send button, so you can see that it is now overflowing on the x-axis. So what I will do, I will make the overflow x hidden. Okay, overflow x hidden. Yes, overflow x hidden. And now if I save this file, go back to my browser and refresh on the both side, I'll give it name simmer and I will give it name Rahul. Okay, so I will send a long messages like a long message. Okay, so now if I click on the send button, you can see that we are getting here hi, but it is overflowing. So if I open my browser, you can see that now it is not overflowing. It is we can handle that overflow using media queries. It is overflowing because we changed the width of our browser, and you can make this website responsive by yourself. Or if I will think if I will make this website responsive or not. We will think about it later. But let's focus on our chat functionality. So our chat functionality is done. So now user can chat to each other. So but what is happening? So what is happening? What we are doing? Let me explain you again. Whenever the user will click on this button, we will send this chat message event to the server. The server on receiving this chat message event, it will send the chat message to the other users. And what we are doing, we are sending an object to the other user. And in object, we have two properties, which is one username, a second is message. In the username, we are fetching the username of the user who had sent the message. Okay, so we are typing a user Socket.It. As you know that when a user joined to our server, we are saving that username to our users object, and in the message we are sending the message. And whenever the client will get this chat event, it will display the message. So we are calling the display message function, and it will display the message to the user. So I hope you guys understand the logic behind the chat messages. So that's it for this video. So coders, till now we had added the functionality of user can join the chat room, user can chat to the other user. But what if user left the chat? And how will the other user know that the user left the chat? We have to add this functionality. So today in this video, we'll add this disconnect functionality to our chat application. But before doing anything, first I will start my server. So I will type in node1. Node1. I will not type in node1. I will type in npm run dev start. So in the last video in our package.json file, so we had added this script in our scripts. As you know that this devstar, which means node1 index.js. So now what I will do, I will go back to my browser and I will open the localhost 3000. Okay, I will open the localhost 3000. Yeah, so it is asking me the username. I will give it simmer. So you can see that we are redirected to our website. So I will open one more browser, and in this browser I will open this localhost 3000. Localhost 3000. It will also ask me name. I will give it a name sync, and I will click on the OK button. On the another tab, you can see that we are getting here sync join the chat. Okay, so now if I try to send message from this tab, I will send hello, I am Simmer. Okay, if I click on send button, you can see that on the right side we are getting hello, I'm Simmer, and we also get the sync join the chat. Our join functionality and chat functionality is working. So now what if this user leaves the chat room? Okay, so what if this user leaves the chat room? Okay, so we have to show the message to the other user that this user leaves the chat room. So let's start implementing this functionality. In our index.js file, we will add here one more, we will handle here a event named disconnect. So it is an inbuilt event in Socket.io, and this event will always and this disconnect event will always execute whenever a user will disconnect. Okay, so what I will do here first, as we know that in the users we are having all the users that are connected to the Socket.io with their Socket ID as key. So what I will do first, I will delete user from the so what I will do, I will type here Socket.broadcast.emit, and I will send here the event name left. So I'm giving here the event name left, and then what I will do, I will pass here the object in which first I will pass here the username, and in the username what I will do, I will type here users, and I will type here Socket.id. So okay, Socket.id. And what is this Socket.id? This is a unique ID which is given to every socket connected to our Socket.io server by our Socket.io server. Okay, so what I will do, I will give here the message as well. I will pass here the message as well. In the message, I will type here something like this. I will type here users Socket.id left the chat room. Okay, yes. So one more thing, after that I will delete user from our users object. So I will type here Socket.id. Socket.id. Okay, so I think I have to pass it delete. Okay, so I'm deleting the user as well. So now in our index.egs file, not in index.egs file, in our script.js file, which will execute on the client side, we have to handle this left event. So how we will handle this left event? Let me show you. We will type here Socket.on. Using the on method, we will handle this left event, and this takes data as parameter. And okay, so in the second parameter, we know that we give callback function as a parameter, and we give data as we give callback function, and in the callback function we give data as parameter. And what we will do, we will call this display message function. Okay, and in the data, in the username, we are getting the username, and in the message we are getting the message. So if I save this file, go back to my browser. Okay, I will open one more browser, and I will open the localhost 3000. Okay, and it will ask me the name. I will give it name Rahul. Okay, on the left side, on the left browser, you can say we are getting Rahul join the chat, and I will refresh it here as well, and I will type here Simmer and click on the OK button. You can see that we are getting here Simmer join the chat. So now if Rahul left the chat, okay, so let's disconnect. So if I click on this close button, you can see that we are getting here Rahul left the chat room. So guys, our disconnect functionality is implemented, and we are showing the message the user left the chat to the other user. So how it is working? So let me show you. So we are in our on our server side, we are handling a special event called disconnect, and this event will always execute whenever a user will disconnect from our Socket.io server. So in this event, what we are doing, we are doing Socket.broadcast.emit, and we are giving the event name left, and we are passing object as data. And in the username key value pair, we are giving the username. We are fetching the username who had left its data, left the chat. Okay, using its Socket.id, and we are sending the message as well. And after that, we are deleting that user from our users object. And in a script.js file which will execute on the client side, we are handling this left event. And in this left event, we are giving a callback function as a second parameter. And in that callback function, we are passing a parameter. And in that parameter, we know that we are getting the data. And in that callback function, we are calling the display message function, which is taking two parameters, data.username, data.message. So I hope you guys understand how this disconnect and left functionality is working. So coders, till now we had completed our group chat application, and our group chat application has all the features that any group chat application should have. So let's try our group chat application. So what I'll do, I will create two tabs, okay, and I will open the sites in both the tabs. I will give it username as Rahul, and I will give this browser username coder. Okay, so let me send here a message like hello. So if I click on send button, on the right hand side you can see that we are getting hello, and if I try to send message hey and click on the send button, you can see that we are getting here hey. But I also want to add some more functionality to this chat application. But before that, if I try to connect to this chat application from another browser, let's give it name sync and click on the OK button. You can see that we are getting here sync join the chat and sync join the chat. Okay, yes. So if this sync user leaves the chat room, let's see. Are we getting the message that sync left the room? Yes, we are getting here message sync left the chat room. Okay, so we had completed all the functionalities that are needed in any chat application. Now I want to add some more functionalities to this chat application. So if you had used any chat application before this, you will know that whenever we receive any message, a audio plays, a ting like audio plays, and that audio I also want to add to this chat application. So let's add it. So if I go back to my Visual Studio Code editor, you can see that I have this ting.mp3, and this is an audio file, and whenever the user will receive any message, we will play this ting.mp3. How we will do this, I will show you, and I will explain you how we are doing this. So first what I will do, first I will create a audio constructor. Okay, so I will type here const audio is equals to new audio. So we are creating this audio, okay, and in this we have to provide that audio. So I will type here ting.mp3. Okay, so in this new audio, the constructor, we have to provide this ting.mp3. Okay, yes. Now in this the new audio, in this audio variable, we have all the method properties of HTML audio element. We can play this audio element, we can post this audio element, we can do a lot of things with this audio element. So let's try to play this. In order to play this audio element, what we have to type? We have to type audio.play. If I type here audio.play and save this file and go back to my browser, now if I refresh my browser, okay, and give a name here like Simmer, we had not got that audio sound, and it's because we are getting here a prompt. I will comment this prompt. Okay, I will save this file. So now if I go back to my browser, now if I refresh this file, we are not getting that ting sound. So coders, I don't know why we are not getting that ting sound when I'm refreshing it. But if I go into my console and play that audio.play, if I type here audio.play, you can see that we are getting that that sound. And if I try to play that audio again, you can hear that we are getting that audio sound. And you can see that we are also getting this picture icon in our tab. So what we are going to do, we are going to play this audio.play whenever a user will get a chat message. So I will paste it here. So I will type here audio.play. If I save this file, go back to my browser, and I will refresh this browser. Okay, but before I have to uncomment the prompt and that Socket.Emit join event as well. So now if I refresh here, I have to give a username. Let me give it simmer, and here I will give here sing. Okay, yes. So now these two users can chat to each other. If I try to send a message here from hello, let's click on send button. We are not getting that ting sound. And why we are not getting that ting sound? Const audio.play. So if we try to add here audio.play, I am just adding here just to check that why that audio is not playing. So if I refresh this file, give it name simmer and type here hey, you get that we are getting that ting sound. But why it is not playing whenever a user is getting that whenever a user is getting a message? So I don't know. Let me fix it. So let's open the console. Let's see, are we getting any error in the console? So to honest, I don't know why when I change this audio.play position to down. So now if I go back to my browser, if I refresh both the browser, like give it name simmer and give it username Rahul, something like this. Now if I try to send message from this tab, let's say hey. Okay, so we are getting here hey. And if I try to send here message hi, click on this send button, we are getting that ting sound. You can see that we are getting that ting sound whenever user is receiving the message. You can see that we are getting the ting sound. Okay, so yes, so our ting functionality, the audio play functionality is completed. So if I refresh this website again, like give it name simmer, you can see that we are getting here a dummy text Taran Joe hello from Taran. So it is coming because we had added it in our index.ejs file. So in our index.ejs file, we will remove this div. Okay, so if I save this file, go back to my browser now. If I refresh, give it name simmer and give it name Sam, something like this. You can see that now we are not getting that dummy text. Now we can chat. Now this user can chat. Hey, hey, hello. You're also getting that ting sound as well. How are you? Click on the send button, we are getting that ting sound. So guys, you can see that our functionality of that ting sound is completed. So in our next video, we will add the functionality of auto scroll. Whenever a user will give message or whenever a user will receive message, that this scroll should happen automatically. So coders, our website is open in this both browser, and I will refresh here. I will give it name Sam and I will give it name simmer. So if these both users try to chat, let's give it name, let's say hey, we are getting hey, let's type here hello, we are getting hello, let's type here how are you simmer. Okay, we are getting that how are you simmer. Let's type here no, I am Sam, you are simmer. Click on the send button. Okay, no, I am Sam, no, I am you are simmer. What we are chatting, bro? I don't know. Just I want to show you something like whenever the user is receiving any message, if I click on send button, you can see that scroll is not happening automatically. The message are getting overflow, but we are not getting the scroll automatically. So if you had used any chat application before this chat application, you know that whenever we get the message, we can see the scroll for that message happens automatically. So let's try to add that functionality to our website as well. So what we will do in a script.js file, we are having our chat box. You can see that we are having our chat box. Okay, we are having our chat box. So what I will do, I will remove this chat box from here, and I will paste it on the top. Okay, I'll paste it on the top because we have to use this chat box. After displaying the message, what we are going to do whenever user receive message, we will type here chatbox.scroll top is equals to chatbox.scroll height. So if I save this file, go back into my browser and refresh, let's give it name Simmer and let's give this username Sam. Okay, so now if I try to send a message from here like hey, you can see that I am sending message here, like you can see that hey1, scroll is happening automatically. You can see that scroll is happening automatically. So it is only the scroll is only happening whenever the user is getting the message. It is not happening whenever user is sending the message. So what we are going to do, we are going to copy this line and paste it whenever the user will send message as well. So I will paste it here. Okay, so if I go back to my browser now, refresh both the site, Simmer, Sam. So if I try to send a message here, hey Simmer, how are you? If I click on send button, you can see that scroll is happening automatically on the right side. So if this user sent the message, hey Sam, I am good. How are you? So by the way, who are you? So you can see that I had written a long message. So if I click on send button, you can see that we are getting here, hey Sam, I am good. How are you? So by the way, who are you? So he will type here, I am human. So if I click on the send button now, you can see the scroll is happening automatically on the both side. So if I go on the top of this chat and if I try to send message again, you can see the scroll is happening automatically as well whenever user will sending the message. So I hope you guys understand that how this auto scroll is happening, and just only one line is used to add this functionality. Chatbox.scroll top is equals to chatbox.scroll height. So I hope you guys understand the logic behind this scrolling. So that's it for this video. So coders, let's try to understand how our website is working. Let's learn how our website is working and what magic is happening behind our website. So before understanding how our website is working, let's use this website. So you can see that I had opened my website in two browsers. Okay, so I will refresh the first browser and give it name Sam. So I want to show you something. When user join the chat room, this auto scroll don't work. You can see that this auto scroll don't work. If I try to join from another browser, if I go to our website localhost 3000 and try to join here, like let's give it name Rahul. Okay, so if I click on the OK button and go back into this this tab, you can see that it doesn't auto scroll. So in order to auto scroll whenever a user joined our chat room, what we have to do, whenever a user will join our chat room, what we will do here, chatbox dot scroll top is equals to chatbox dot scroll height. If I save this file, go back into my browsers. Okay, if I try to join again, so if I try to join with name Rahul, click on the OK button. So let's see, is it working or not? So let's try to join again. So if I refresh here and give it name like seamer, click on the OK button, it is not the auto scroll is not working because we have to refresh. So I will refresh here seamer, and I will also refresh here Sam. So, and I will refresh here as well. So I will give it name hey, hey, something like this. Click on the OK button. It is auto scrolling. It is auto scrolling. Okay, yes. So now let's chat. So if I title like hey, we are getting hey on both the browser. You can see that hey, how are you all? Click on the send button. We are getting hey, how are you all? Okay, yes. So now let's try to understand the code behind this website. So whenever a user will request our website, we will render index page. This index.egs page. Whenever this user will render this index.egs page, after then the user will also render this script.js file. In a script.js file, what we are doing, first we are getting the chat box document.querySelector chat box. Then we are creating this audio, okay, and then we are trying to connect to our server using this const socket is equals to io, and we are providing our server link here, okay. And after that we are getting the username in this variable, and when the user will give the username, we will send this joint event to the server with the username as data. Server on getting this join event, what will server do? Server first will add this user to this user's object, then server will send joint user event to the other user connected to our server. And okay, yes, and on receiving this joint user event, what we will do? We are first of all doing chat box dot scroll top is equals to chat box dot scroll height, and we have to give it after the display message. So I think it was not working, and when I said it is working, it was like I think I just misunderstood. So now if I try to join, okay, I will give it name here Sam. So I will also give it here, and I will also refresh here and try to join as Simmer. So we are getting this Simmer join the chat, and I will send some message, okay. So in order to make scroll here, now if I refresh here, like if I give here Simmer, you can see that it is auto scrolling whenever a user will join our chat room, okay. Yes, we had added that functionality. So whenever when the server will send this joint user event, we are going to display the message to the user using this display message function. And what is this display message function doing? This display message function is creating the first div using JavaScript, and then adding a class of message to that div, and then making that div in HTML is equals to p tag with user and then p tag with message, and then it is appending that div which we had created to the chat box container, okay. Yes, and after that what we are doing, we are handling the chat event. But before understanding this chat event, let's understand some other code, which is this. We are getting the input from our HTML and button. Whenever user will click on this button, what we are going to do, we are going to display message to the user, then we are scrolling, and then we are sending this event, chat message event, to the server. Server on receiving this chat message event, what the server will do, server will send this chat event with this object username as user and message to the other user connected to our socket. Other user connected to our socket, when receiving this chat event, first we are displaying the message, and then we are scrolling the chat box, and then we are playing the audio. What is this audio? This is this ping audio, okay. Yes. So, and one more thing, what we are doing, whenever a user will disconnect from a server, this disconnect event will execute it. So what it will do, it will send this left event to the other user connected to the socket with this object, and then it is deleting that user from the user's object. Okay, so it will send this left event to the other user. Other users on getting this left event will get what we are doing. We are displaying the message to them. So this was the logic behind the our chat application, and it is very easy to create this type of chat application using Socket.io, and it is completely working. You can share this website with your friends. You and your friends can do anything. Hey, how are you? You can make it public as well in order that some user can connect to each other, can have conversation. If you and your friends want to have some private conversation, you can deploy this website for free on Heroku, or you can get many free hosting providers, and your friends can have chat. You can do anything, many things. You can do anything, many things, whatever you want to do, you can do. So I hope guys you understand uh, how this chat application is working.